Well, welcome everyone to today's live stream. What's up, you guys? My name is Sean with Elevate Experiences, and I could not be more excited. Behind the scenes, we've got a couple of people that are going to be helping me talk about how to play this amazing game called Rock, Paper, Scissors, Biggest Fan. Now, this is a twist on the traditional game that we all grew up knowing and loving called rock, paper, scissors, okay? And I'm going to teach you how to play it. But know that the initial rules are really simple because it's just like rock, paper, scissors, just like we used to play when we were in grade school. You remember how we would go to the schoolyard or to the lunchroom or wherever we were, and maybe you were choosing who gets this seat, or maybe you were choosing who gets to play in this game, or maybe you're just playing it just to play rock, paper, scissors. Well, it's the exact same rules as that, where rock, this is, you make a rock like kind of like the fist, right? This is the rock. Well, rock beats scissors, right? These are the scissors. Scissors beats paper, and paper beats rock. But again, it's with a twist. So let me show you with some visuals on the screen how to play rock, paper, scissors. But again, this is a little bit special. It's a little bit different because it's called rock, paper, scissors. And it's actually called, we like to call it biggest fan, okay? Biggest fan. Now, here's the really cool thing about rock, paper, scissors, biggest fan. I'm going to turn on so you can see me and you can see my screen, rock, paper, scissors, biggest fan. So again, rock beats paper, or sorry, no, that's not right. Rock beats scissors, scissors beats paper, and paper beats rock. But the reason why we call it biggest fan is because in a traditional game of rock, paper, scissors, biggest fan, rock, paper, scissors, in a traditional game, if you lose, you kind of like sulk. You're kind of like, oh man, like I can't believe that I just lost rock, paper, scissors. Well, that's not how you play it, because the purpose of this game, rock, paper, scissors, biggest fan, is to have everybody at your event, everybody at your gathering, everybody at your team meeting, whatever you're doing, to have an amazing, amazing, amazing time. And so rather than sitting out and kind of sulking and leaning back and being like, oh man, this stinks, I lost the game. The twist on this, the reason why it's called biggest fan, is because if you lose, you become the biggest fan of the person who beat you, okay? That's why it's called biggest fan. Let me say that again. If you lose, you become the biggest fan of the person who beat you. So let me explain it a little bit more simply. Here's how to play. So if I were explaining this to, say, a group, say I've got a group of people that are at my event, and it's 100 different people, and maybe we're indoors for a convention or a conference, and we've been together for a day or two, or maybe it's this is your first day with them. I would say, hey, here's what we're going to do first. The number one thing we're going to do right now is we are going to find a partner, okay? First, you're going to find a partner. You're going to pair up with someone next to you. If for some reason there's an odd number of people, then the odd person out, you get a bye, an automatic pass to the next round, okay? Now, you and your partner, again, this is me explaining it to the group. You and your partner are going to play rock, paper, scissors. And I would actually go over it with them just like I did with you guys just a second ago, where I would say rock beats scissors, scissors beats paper, and paper beats rock, okay? And then you can give simple instructions like, hey, make sure you go on 1, 2, 3, go, or rock, paper, scissors, go, just to make sure it's even. Now, the second thing we're going to tell everyone is that the winner of that round, you can see it on my screen and on your screen, the winner of that round is going to go and play another winner in the room. And then the loser, the person who loses that round, becomes the biggest fan of it. And then what I like to personally say is I like to say, let's say, for example, it's me, and I'm going to go to the comments here. We've got Poyos and Sarah Kate who said good morning. Thank you guys for saying that. I'm going to put these on screen. Sarah Kate said good morning. Poyos said hi. Thank you guys so much for watching. So let's say, for example, me and Poyos are playing rock, paper, scissors, biggest fan, and we square off against each other. And let's say Poyos beats me. Well, I follow Poyos around, and the more Poyos wins, the more followers, the more biggest fans they get. And then what I like to say is, hey, at the very end, we're going to have an East versus a West champion, and half of the room is going to be cheering for one person, half the room is going to be cheering for the last person. So that brings me to number 3, which is how to win the game. Okay, I'm going to remove my camera so you can see that clearly. But how to win the game is the last 2 winners are going to play each other in order to be the ultimate winner. Okay. So really simple. That is how you play rock, paper, scissors, biggest fan. Now, here's the really cool thing about this game is when you come down to the end, what I personally like to do is when you have the one person with half the room cheering for them and then another person with half the room cheering for them, because every time they win, they gain more followers, more biggest fans. They're cheering for them. They're chanting their name. What I like to personally do is at the very end, I like to make it this big event. I have everyone gather around and I say, okay, this side, I want you to cheer for this person. Who thinks this person's going to win? Who thinks this person's going to win? You got kind of a cheer off going. You take your time with it. And then as an MC, one thing that I love to do, which makes it a little bit more dramatic, because we all need a little bit more drama when these competitions are around, because maybe you're giving away $100 gift card or something like that, right? Well, at the very end, what I like to do is not just make it a one-off where someone, if the first person who wins. I like to make it best 2 out of 3. That means that they have to play either 2 times or 3 times. So again, going back to the example of who was watching in chat, let's say, for example, that Sarah Kate who said good morning. By the way, this is live, so you can put comments in and I can see that. And myself and Billy, who's going to be on screen with me here in a second. But if me and Sarah Kate were playing rock, paper, scissors, biggest fan, and it was myself versus her, who's the champions, then one of us would have to win twice. So if I win the first round and she wins the second round, it makes it that much more dramatic because we're all in at the very end. So that is how you play rock, paper, scissors, biggest fan. Now, again, if you like this video, if you like this icebreaker, drop a comment either on this video. You can do it live right now as we're streaming this, or you can do it after the fact and let us know, have you ever done this before? Do you have a different name for it? Because we kind of came up with our own biggest fan. And now I'm going to bring up on the screen with me my friend, an amazing guy who's an incredible MC, and he helped create this game, and he has led it dozens and really probably hundreds of times by now. Billy, what's up, man?
Hey, Sean, how you doing, man? Great description of the video. And like you mentioned, those of you that are watching along, if you found us through the mic or found us online or a Google search for ways to make your events more awesome, you're in the right spot. And we love to use this phrase, Sean, is we like to eliminate the plague of boring events. And that has become our passion and our mantra and sort of our battle cry. And that's why you're watching this video, is to learn a unique way to engage with your people. Now, I know the questions you're having that you haven't asked yet, but you probably will. So comment below if you struggle with this. With all the variants and pandemic, post-pandemic, whenever you're watching this video, it's really tricky to implement an icebreaker, something like this, virtually. Now, we have discovered this is an amazing event to do when you're live and in person. And if you're looking for some virtual icebreakers, there's some other great spots to view those as well. But primarily, this is one when you are able to gather in the same place. And it's something you can actually do socially distant as well. And it's, Sean, I've done this recently several times where it's been socially distant and people are a little farther away, and it makes it even more interesting and fun as they, lose and then begin to cheer, and it just builds that momentum. I think of one particular story that happened in Columbus, Ohio. It was about 1,000 people in the room, and the meeting planner thought there was no way, Billy, you can do this icebreaker in 8 minutes. This is going to take you an hour. I said, listen, I can get your entire room cheering and chanting and going crazy in 8 minutes. She said, okay, I'm going to trust you. And we took this group of people that were arms crossed, sitting in chairs, into this stadium at the end of folks just losing their mind, cheering on 2 final people that were on stage. And the winner got like a, $10 gift card. So it was really, really fun. But when I think about icebreakers, and I want to close with this story, is I love the musical called Hamilton. Those of you that have seen this before, if you haven't, take the opportunity, go to New York. It's traveling around now, sort of a road show in different cities. But it happens to be where I live, which is in Atlanta, Georgia. And I got to see it a couple weeks ago. I saw it in New York a couple years ago, but I was reminded of the power of breaking the ice. And Sean, you know this idea. I know that you're working on a book with this title of just shattering that fourth wall of taking the audience that's in one place and taking the MC or the hostess in another place and bringing them together. And this picture, I'm going to bring it up full screen so you can see it. This picture is, this gentleman's name is Jonathan Groff is his name. And Jonathan plays King George in Hamilton. I'll tell you, it is an amazing moment. Those of you that love musicals or at least have an appreciation of them, the music carries throughout the show. And he comes out with this song called You'll Be Back, singing about how America will be back and the whole theme of what happened in 1776 and the founding of America and those things. But he sings this song and he has these moments where he pauses and he uses his facial expression and he gets the crowd just totally on the balls of their feet, on just totally leaning in. And it's amazing how he breaks the ice with his facial expressions, and he breaks it with his tone, and he breaks it with his posture. And by the third time he's out on stage, if you've seen Hamilton, you know it's not a play you're going to smile the whole way. You're going to cry. You're going to laugh. But the last time he comes out, it's just so hilarious in this moment where a moment that shouldn't be hilarious, and the ice is completely broken from that. And so I want to share that with you is when you have an icebreaker, it's not necessarily all about the game that you play. It's about the tone that you set. It's about the smile. It's about the facial expressions. It's about the engagement. It's about that interaction. And Sean, I said I was going to close with my story. I want you to share on my screen. I'm going to bring it full screen. I want you to tell this story because this is one of my most fun Sean Specie moments. I mean, there's a lot of them, but this one I got to be a camera operator at this event. So I was actually the one that was on this side operating the camera. And if you can see on the screen, you can see that we had, you can't see the audience, but we had a bunch of folks live in the room. But then, Sean, you had this engagement with those online in the room that was absolutely remarkable. And so I want to provide a little encouragement for folks that might still be virtual and can't figure out ways to break the ice. Sean, tell this story as we close this video.
Yeah, that was a really, really fun event. So thanks for bringing that up, Billy. I love showing off that shiny jacket. I'm really proud of that shiny jacket. But a lot of people ask us specifically with icebreakers and crowd engagement, can this be done either virtually or can this be done if we have an in-person audience and we have an online audience? And the answer is 100% yes. And so during this event, what we did is we actually had there were different groups of people that were watching. So I'm going to bring this full screen so you can see you kind of behind me. And so in the top TV that I'm looking at, the top TV, you can see behind me, there's an in-person audience. And then the bottom screen was a bunch of different people's faces on Zoom. And so what we did is we did icebreaker engagements just like rock, paper, scissors, biggest fan. And what we would do is we would say, all right, we're going to play this in the room and we want you to play this at home, because they were in groups at home where they had maybe 4 or 5 people in the room, maybe up to 10 people on a screen at a time. And so we did it both in person, and then we had them do it online with themselves as well. And then what you can do if you want to, it'll take a little bit more time, maybe more than the 8 minutes that you said, Billy, but you can also pair them up in breakout rooms randomly and have them play each other in winners. You can do groups of 4 or groups of 2 play and then come back. And then the winners will have to basically say, hey, I was a winner here. And then you keep going from there. So this specific icebreaker, rock, paper, scissors, biggest fan, it can be done both in person and virtually. And that was a really, really fun and special event. And now, Billy, I get to go into storytelling mode because this is a picture that I'm going to put up full screen right here. And this is a picture where I just did rock, paper, scissors, biggest fan at an event in this was in Birmingham, Alabama. So outside Birmingham, Alabama. So we had a group of people that were in the room together and we all played it together. And as you can see, like this is something that really breaks the ice with a lot of different groups of people. And people just really enjoy it. You can see the authentic and genuine smiles. So we're not just like saying, hey, this is something that is hypothetical. This is something that we do a lot. In fact, I've even got a video for you guys. So check out this quick video of what it looks like to play it outdoors at an event. Can you hear that audio, Billy?
No, but I feel the energy.
Got it. So
You can narrate it. This is great.
some technical difficulties then, but as you can see, what's happening is you can see people are getting excited. They're having fun. It is a woman who looks as if she could be this young boy's grandmother, and they are playing each other in rock, paper, scissors. And you can see that the crowd, half of the crowd is cheering for one person, half the crowd is cheering for the other person. They're all going crazy. They're chanting their names. And so it was a really, really, really fun event. Now,
And
just
I think
to close,
Sean,
yeah, Billy, go ahead.
I think something unique there. You saw her hold up. That was just one. And in that final round, you can go best 2 out of 3 to kind of build the energy at the end. And obviously that was an event that was outdoors. We know that, indoors, outdoors, kind of depends on the space that you have. But I love that video. Even though we didn't hear the audio, I can feel the energy. And as you mentioned, it's something that any age can play, any demographic can play. We've actually had folks that, were in wheelchairs, that folks that, couldn't be as mobile. We've had some winners that, all different walks of life. And so it's one that's really fun to engage with everyone that's involved. And so I know you're going to mention our YouTube channel. Some of you are watching us here on Facebook. Some of you check us out on Instagram. On YouTube is where we're spending most of our time. We're sort of putting all of our chips on the table to spend some live streams like this, do our very best to teach and train. And if you're watching this video, where I'm standing right now is in the Elevate studio in Atlanta, Georgia. And we do a lot of our demo calls or our sales calls from this particular spot. As a matter of fact, yesterday, had a call with a brand that wanted to see what we could do. And on the spot, they said, oh my goodness, we cannot wait to bring this to our team. So we actually will demonstrate a couple of our games. So if that's something you're interested in, just to sort of, kick the tires a little bit and learn a bit more about what we do and how we can bring this to your organization, we would love to do that. So Sean, I'm fired up. I know we're closing this thing down, but man, thanks for having me on. This is a fun game. You want to play right now? You and I, head to head.
Rock, paper, scissors. Let's go. All right, ready? And rock, paper, scissors, go. Hey!
You win.
I win. That's it.
You win. I'm out.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in either live or watching the replay. And if you like this YouTube video, feel free to subscribe to our channel as I show my wrong screen. As you can see, we're doing this live, right? We're doing this live. We've got some, we're having some fun. We had some people that were dropping some comments. And so on our YouTube channel is our goal to go live. You can drop comments, you can ask questions, as well as feel free to like this video and drop a comment. Was this helpful for you? And then if you like this specific icebreaker, you're going to love something that we've got available on our website, which is called, and it's in the description of this video, it's called the Elevate Game Library. Inside are over 30 games. There's videos, there's downloadable instructions. If there's a slideshow like what I've shown you, there are presentations available, and it is all there in the description below. There's a link to it that'll take you, and it'll look just like this. So if you click here, you can get a free preview of it. And we're just so thankful that you're here with us. Thank you guys for tuning in live, and we will see you guys later. Bye, everyone.